I want you to listen to this brief clip from this Republican, and then let's talk about it.
There's probably people in this room that hate me just because I'm a Republican. There's people watching this that hate Matt just because he's a Democrat.
Sir, it's not that you're a Republican, it's that you're a shitty human being. You still support to this day, and supported in November, a man who is an adjudicated rapist. But because it wasn't your wife, you didn't care. You still support a man who you know molested girls at Epstein Island, but it wasn't your daughter, so you don't care. You supported a man because you're so pro-life that put Supreme Court justices that overturned Roe versus Wade. People like Amber Thurman died in Georgia because she didn't get the health care she needed. Adriana Smith was brain dead from complications from her surgery. She was kept alive for 4 months because of your pro-life policies. And women in Texas have a 56% increased mortality rate because of your pro-life. But because it wasn't your wife that was affected, you don't give a shit. You saw January 6th while that adjudicated rapist sat there in his diapers, eating Big Macs and Ho-Hos, wiping his greasy hands on his pants, while officers were beaten. Sitnik died the next day, and 4 other officers took their own lives from PTSD, and you didn't give a shit because it wasn't your dad. You're what's wrong with this country, sir. You want, once again, it's white people wanting to go back to being the victim. Oh, can we agree to disagree? No, we can't. Because you're a shitty person. You don't have morals. Oh, here we go, right? Here it comes. But the babies. Great. Let's talk about abortion, sir, because you're so stupid. You have concepts of brains. Once the baby's born, you don't care if it's shot in a school, a shopping mall, a movie theater. Oh, we can't do gun reform. There's just nothing we can do. I've never seen you go for universal health care. I've never seen you push for a living wage. I've never seen you tax the rich people so people can get food. I haven't seen you push for affordable housing, and I haven't seen you fight for climate change. What in the fuck are you pro-life about, sir? Nothing. You're forced birth. You're why we're here, sir. People like you. You only care about your religious agenda. You're not a person of faith. You are a religious Pharisee. You and Satan have a lot in common. You both believe in God, and yet neither one of you follow him. Faith without works is dead. Do you think that Jesus would be for gun reform, sir? Hell yeah. You think Jesus would be for universal health care? Hell yeah. You think Jesus would want affordable housing and tax rich people? Damn right he would. But not you, sir, because you're not a person of faith. You are the same Sanhedrin that crucified Jesus in the name of God because he wouldn't conform to your religious agenda. And that's all you are, is a white supremacist wrapped in religion. But somehow you can't vote for Pete Buttigieg because it's against God's will for a man to lie with another man. Marriage is between one man and one woman. So let's run with that, sir, because you're such a person of faith. By your fruits shall you be judged. By the same measure you judged, lest you be judged. Judge thy neighbor fairly. So let's judge, sir, because that's what you like to do with gay people. You voted for a man who's on his 3rd failed marriage, who's such a pitiful excuse for a human, that while she was at home with their 2-week-old son, a blessing from God, he's banging a porn star in Las Vegas and then lies about it and then becomes a convicted felon. But somehow that's okay, sir, because he's a Christian. But Pete Buttigieg, who's not a felon, who didn't cause an insurrection, who doesn't rape women and molest girls in Epstein Island, somehow that's a bridge too far because it's outside the design of God. And even hearing this, sir, your pride is so strong that you can't even hear constructive criticism because you're so goddamn ignorant. Pride comes before the fall, sir. You know why Trump was sent here, sir? I'll tell you why. To expose the moral rot within his church. You are what's wrong with the church, sir. You don't serve God. You serve an antichrist. You serve the prince of this world. Everything that Jesus would have stood for, you're against. But you have no problem seeing the speck in every single person's eye while having a log in your own. So why don't you go ask yourself this, sir? If Donald Trump was found liable for sexually assaulting your wife, an adjudicated rapist, would you have voted for him? If the answer is no, then this is exactly why you are the problem with this country, because we both know that there is no way in hell that you would have voted for him. But because it was somebody else, it was okay. Have yourself a white day, sir. We'll pray for you. Maybe one day you too will find Jesus.